Let's be real. SEO can feel like a grind. It can be slow, it can be confusing, and most of the advice out there is for big companies with big budgets. However, after running a digital advertising agency for the last 8 years, there's a few things that I've learned that can help us small companies compete with the big dogs without big backlinking budgets, without technical tools that help us get ahead, without big marketing degrees, or even a lot of experience. So today we're going to walk through a simple, no fluff SEO process for small businesses that actually works. So let's start with the definition. Most of you already know what search engine optimization is, but for those that don't, search engine optimization is the process of improving your rankings on Google, either in the results or in the map pack. And obviously the dream is to rank number one. That said, in order to get there, we need to follow a few simple steps that are going to allow us to rank, and we need to make intelligent decisions where the big dogs might be missing out. So the first thing we need to do is claim and optimize our Google My Business profile. Now, a lot of people treat their Google My Business profile as an afterthought. However, the more love that we put into our GMB, short for Google My Business profile, the better results we're going to get. Local services really is largely related to the map pack, and the map pack are going to show the Google My Business profiles. So the more we can optimize that, the higher we can show up in the map pack. So we need to make sure our name, phone number, website, and address are all correct. And they need to be synced across, they need to show the same thing on your website as well as on your GMB. Then we need to make sure that we have a lot of photos. The businesses that post a lot of photos are going to do much better. I know a lot of you may not quite have photos. However, the more that we can post, the better. And they don't have to be customer jobs. They can just be, let's say, let's take a look at Dumpster Dudes, right? Dumpster Dudes they have quite a few photos, and these aren't customer photos. This is a guy going out on a job and just taking a photo. Now, I get it. If you're a plumber, maybe the innards of the house are not going to be that beautiful. However, the more we post, it's a sign of credibility, realistically. So we need to post a lot of photos. And we need to encourage these reviews because those reviews are going to help us increase our rankings on the map pack. Okay, so the second thing we can do is optimize our website. Now, what does this actually mean? Optimizing our website is, first off, it starts with picking simple keywords. And there's a whole strategy about this, but I'm going to give you the 3-sentence version. So the 3-sentence version is find the keywords that are most specific to the services that you offer and are local. So if you do drainage repair in Nashville, Tennessee, or if you do fixing a broken roof in Austin, Texas, or if you do re-siding vinyl houses in Las Vegas, Nevada. See how those are very specific? We want to select those keywords. While they don't have a lot of searches, like high volume, they're going to allow us to get the keywords that are less competitive, along with being able to provide us with traffic that's high intent, meaning high conversion rate, meaning more customers. If we go after, let's say we want to go after plumber. Well, plumber is fairly vague. So this is a fairly hyperbolic example, but if we go after these more general keywords, we're not going to get people who are actually trying to solve specific problems. And when people are trying to solve specific problems, they're going to be more likely to convert if you solve that specific problem. Sorry to say that a bunch of times, but it's the reality. So now, we want to select every single page to sort of have a different keyword target. So we don't want to try to target a bunch of, we don't want all of our plumbing terms to be on the homepage and try to just win our homepage. The best way to do it is going to be to create different pages for every single specific silo of service that you offer. Whether it's plumbing, maybe you do plumbing and HVAC, maybe you do dishwasher replacement and laundry service replacement. Maybe if you're an electrician, you do breaker box replacement along with house wiring, right? You would maybe have breaker box replacement as one page, and then you would have house wiring as a second page. By getting very specific, you're going to be able to pick up on wins that the big dogs are not necessarily doing because we're going strategically after those customers that have specific problems. So now that we understand how to select keywords that are going to be high intent, and we understand that each page in your website needs to target a different theme, now we need to go about how do we implement that. So first thing we're going to do is look at this page and take a look at the page title that can be found here. This page title is the page title that will show up on Google in the organic listing. So this page title is very critical and it's a major ranking signal. So we need to get that right. We need to have our keywords inserted in the page title. The second thing is our URL. We need to have that URL keyword optimized. So whatever page, let's say if we're doing drainage repair, Austin, Texas, then we need to have drainage repair Austin, Texas in the URL. The second thing is the H1 tag. The H1 tag is the main page heading, also a ranking signal. We need to have that contain our keywords. Then we need to have our first paragraph contain 3 to 5 instances of our target keywords or related keywords. Drainage repair, Nashville house that needs drainage repair. These sort of semantically related keywords can help bolster our SEO results. And lastly, the meta description. Now, the meta description isn't really a ranking signal. However, it can help with click-through rate. So if you've gotten all these other things right and you are showing up, people are going to read this little meta description that is going to allow us to improve the number of clicks that we get on that page. So think of it like an advertisement. And just sort of a bonus, we can tag our images with alt tags if we want to show up better on image search. So anyway, so that's how we go about optimizing our web page for SEO to help improve our rankings. So the third step is create helpful local content. Now, what does that mean? Well, we need to be thinking about informational queries. So what questions do people have and how can we localize it? I want to think about maybe how much is it to get a roof repaired in Austin, Texas? And we can write that blog post talking about how much is it to get your roof repaired in Austin and why it costs this much, and maybe what you do better. Let's say you're on the higher end of the price spectrum. Well, maybe you talk about why yours is so much better. Maybe you offer a 5-year warranty or a 10-year warranty, something like that. And that can be both a sales pitch as well as addressing people's questions and concerns, along with localizing it. By doing this, we're helping build relevancy and keyword coverage. So if we're just going for the 3 to 5 keywords on our main navigational pages, the blog posts really help us with that full spectrum of keyword coverage that we might not get in our main pages. So the fourth step is make it easy for Google to index you. And what that essentially means is we need to have a really nice site architecture with, think about, we want to have our homepage with all the services we have, and then maybe if we have 2 different types of services like HVAC or plumbing, you want to have 2 different navigational items for the HVAC and the plumbing, and then you want to have a separate page for all of your blog posts. Think of it like this. The crawlers come to your site, boom, they hit it, and then what they do is they go down and then they spread out across your site architecture. So think of it like a family tree. And when we have this tight family tree, we make it easy for Google crawlers to find all of the relevant pages on your website. And so if they're having to crisscross and get lost, they're going to have a really hard time indexing you correctly. So step 5 is track your progress. How do we do this without fancy tracking tools and fancy ranking tools? Well, we can do this with Google Search Console. While the results are fairly rudimentary and may not give us all the results we need, it is going to give us some information to let us know that, hey, we're seeing an improvement in rankings on some of these pages. So even just that is going to get us a little closer. Moreover, Google Search Console can tell you if there are any errors with your page, like 404s or anything of that nature. And lastly, we can use Google Analytics. Google Analytics is going to give us page information on sessions, conversions, etc., etc. If we can track individual pages and watch their session changes over a period of time, that's going to give us information about how well we're getting our optimization efforts done. So that's how we track our progress for free without any fancy tools. So that's basically all we need to do. We need to optimize our Google My Business profile, optimize our website and landing pages, create helpful local content, make it easy for Google to index you, and track the progress. If you could do that, we're 70 to 90% of the way there. One might say we are 100% of the way there in terms of laying a base foundation for SEO traction. At worst, just by making these changes, we're going to go from page 3 to 4 or 3 to 2, etc. Now, if we've selected the right keywords, we might even show up even higher for higher quality searches. And this is something that a lot of companies probably in your space are not actually doing. So I think this is going to be very helpful for your SEO if you can make these tweaks. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or maybe some clarity on how this works. Definitely happy to help. And if you like this content and want to continue to get them, please subscribe, please like, etc. It helps the channel. Like I said, I'm coming from an agency background and I've learned a lot, and I'm trying to spread the knowledge because my family is a family of entrepreneurs where, they own plumbing shops, they own construction companies, they own small framing companies. Like this is in my DNA. So I want to help these kinds of people, and that means you.